We have to make sure that we're able to recognize fear when it comes up and see it for what it is. Is it actually going to preserve the self? Is it going to actually keep me physically safe? Or is it just a fear because it's going to push me out of my comfort zone, right? Because it actually is going to take me somewhere that I really want to go, but I haven't gone there yet because something's been holding me back. Maybe it's a limiting belief. So we want to be able to recognize fear and then make that conscious choice whether or not to move forward. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how you can conquer your fears and ultimately move forward, take action, and manifest the life of your dreams. My name is Kelly, and this is your place for yoga, manifestation, and meditation. Before we dive in, please remember to hit the like button and click subscribe, and that way you'll get notified every time I post a new video. All right, so let's first talk about what fear is. Fear is a mechanism that has been embedded in us humans and pretty much all animals since the beginning of time. And this was originally embedded in us to protect us from physical danger. These days, not always, but most of us find ourselves under more of perceived mental stress and fear than actual physical danger. Yet our bodies and our minds don't really know the difference between that physical danger and the mental danger or stress that most of us find ourselves in from basic day-to-day things like work, family, finances, all of that. So when anything happens that makes us feel fear, whether it's actual physical danger or mental danger, we go into the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn state, also known as the sympathetic nervous system. So our nervous system kind of spikes and we feel an increase in adrenaline and cortisol. Most of the body's essential functions like digestion, reproduction, those things go down and kind of freeze while all the blood gets like pumped into our arms and our legs so we can fight or flight. Or we might also notice that we freeze or we fawn, which means we kiss ass. Okay, sucking up to someone or just trying to make sure someone likes us so that we feel safe. In this day and age, most of us find ourselves under constant stress, meaning that we stay in that fight or flight state and our body and our minds become out of balance chronically, which is dangerous for a lot of physical reasons. This can cause a lot of illness, but it can also really prevent us from creating the life that we truly desire. It can cause us to self-sabotage, and it can cause us to even people please and say yes to things that aren't in alignment just because we feel like we should. So how do we conquer our fears? How do we become friends with fear? How do we learn how to see fear as just a signal that maybe there's something we need to take a deeper look at and push past so that we can start to manifest that which we deeply desire? The first thing that we need to do is to form a relationship with our fear. In a way, become friends with our fear, right? Get to know what fear means to us. Get to know which fears were embedded in us in childhood and see if those fears are even applicable to this point in our lives, right? We want to get to know what fear does to us physically, mentally, emotionally, even energetically, because it's going to affect everyone different. We've all had different paths. We've all come from different places. So fear is going to mean something different to each and every one of us. So what you can do is grab a journal, and right now I want you to just write down what fear means to you. What does fear feel like in your body, right? Do you feel it in your gut? Do you feel it in your shoulders, in your neck? Where do you feel fear physically when it comes in? Right? And then write down, what does fear sound like mentally to you in your head? Does fear turn into anxiety? Does it turn into negative self-talk? Does it turn into sadness? What does fear sound like in your head? What is it like mentally for you? And then write down, what is fear like emotionally for you? What emotions does it bring up? Does it bring up past memories? What does fear spark deep down inside of you? What comes up? What emotions come up for you when you're experiencing fear? Some of us might experience an angry emotion when we have fear. Some of us might feel sad. Some of us might feel jealous, right? Like threatened, like we can't have what it is that we really desire. So, what emotions come up for you when you experience fear? And then energetically, what does that look like for you? Does fear cause you to feel tired and want to go hide in a cave? Does fear spark something inside of you and actually give you motivation and energy? It's going to be so different for everyone. So have this intimate relationship with your fear and get to know what it looks, feels, and sounds like to you. Also start to understand your automatic responses when fear arises. What is the thing that you automatically do? Most of us are going to have one or two responses that kind of are our go-to responses when certain emotions arise, like fear. So what happens? What is your automatic response when you experience fear? By getting to know what fear sparks in you, you're going to be able to have this conscious awareness. So next time you experience fear around something, say maybe it's a fear of taking a career change, maybe it's a fear of driving an hour away, whatever that fear is that comes up for you, you're going to be able to recognize it instead of just letting it kind of automatically take its hold on you. And from that awareness, you're going to be able to make conscious choices of how you respond. Remember, fear is basically a self-preservation mechanism that we humans have, right? So you might have a fear come up around something that you really, really desire, but your automatic human response and all the conditioning that you've picked up throughout your lifetime up until this point, that might stop you from actually doing something that's going to move your life forward in a really powerful direction. On the other side of discomfort and fear is often our biggest dreams, right? It is often the biggest things that are going to move the needle in our life. Our ego really wants to keep us safe and comfortable in the bubble that we're in, even if it's a bubble we don't want to be in anymore, right? So we have to make sure that we're able to recognize fear when it comes up and see it for what it is. Is it actually going to preserve the self? Is it going to actually keep me physically safe? Or is it just a fear because it's going to push me out of my comfort zone, right? Because it actually is going to take me somewhere that I really want to go, but I haven't gone there yet because something's been holding me back. Maybe it's a limiting belief. So we want to be able to recognize fear and then make that conscious choice whether or not to move forward. So that leads me to our next exercise. So step 2 that you can take to conquer your fears. This one's super tangible. It's really great to use when we notice fear arising around something that we want to do, like a specific goal. Okay, so grab your journal. Here we go. The first step is to write down the fear. So let me give you an example. For example, the fear is, I am dying to make a career change. Okay, I'm sick of my job. I want to find a new job. I'm ready to go. So what is the fear? The fear is getting a new job, switching careers. So you would write that down. So write down your fear. Step 2 is to write down the worst case scenario that would happen if you took action towards this goal. Okay, so for our example, it would be, I got that new job. I took that leap of faith, changed my career. What would the worst case scenario be? Maybe you would write down things like, I hate the new job. I hate the new career. Maybe it would be that you took a pay cut. Okay, so write down worst case scenario if you were to take that leap of faith and move past your fear. And then step 3 is to write down the best case scenario. What's the best thing that could happen if you were to conquer your fear, to move forward, and to get that new job or that career change for our example. All right, so those are our tools for helping you to conquer your fear and manifest the life of your dreams. Please make sure to comment below, Let me know how these tools work for you. What is your biggest fear? I want to know. And if you want more, you can head to my website, kellycollinswellness.com. Check out my upcoming goddess retreats. I have one coming up in Bali in the end of September 2024. You can also find my coaching program there, and you can see my online programs as well. For more manifestation content, you can check out my playlist up here. And remember to hit like if you enjoyed this video and click subscribe. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me. I'll see you back here very soon.